Before we begin, I would just like to say real quick that I normally do not cover unlisted videos. However, if you link said video of yours in a comment in my comment section, then I think it becomes fair game.
An argument about bi-lesbians and kind of how they kind of correlate with things like non-binary lesbians, and before I do that, I want to make note, non-binary lesbians are valid, and so are he, him lesbians. Because I'm going to make arguments that are kind of showing how, by the definition of lesbian, bi-lesbians are more valid than non-binary lesbians by the definition of lesbian, but that does not mean I don't personally think that they're valid. I think that non-binary...
So here, Mushroom Girl brings up the Google definition of a lesbian, which is a woman romantically or sexually loving another woman, which I'm just going to say it right now. Google is very old, and some of the information on it is obviously going to be outdated because of this. So I looked up the actual definition on an LGBTQ wiki, aka Mogai, and here is the definition. Also, honestly, in my opinion, you heavily cherry-picked the definition on Google, and you used the word "or" as a leading point for why you were right, which doesn't necessarily mean you were right, it just means the word "or" was in there, which is a tone to asexual lesbians or aromantic lesbians, not to bi-lesbians.
Okay, several issues. The first one is, you do know there's no such thing as the Google definition, right? Google isn't anything other than a search engine producing results based on its algorithm. In the case of the word lesbian, the definition Google gives comes from the Oxford Dictionary, one of the most well-respected dictionaries in all of existence. I also want to point out the absolute irony of you throwing a definition away for no other reason than because you presume it's old, a statement which you don't prove, by the way, only to go on to accuse Mushroom Girl of cherry-picking, while also showing no understanding of what cherry-picking is, I should note. You say Mushroom Girl is cherry-picking because she took notice of the use of the word "or" in that sentence, and therefore determined it had a different meaning than others believe, which is notably not actually what cherry-picking is. Lastly, I find it funny that Mogai is your example, given actually checking the page shows that it has 3 different Mspec pride flags, 2 specifically are for bi-lesbians, by the way. Mogai also has a page on bi-lesbianism, so is Mogai trustworthy or isn't it? Your video, I assume, exists to argue against MG's position that bi-lesbians are valid, and yet your source says that they are. A source you only cite, apparently, when it agrees with you. Hey, what's the term for that?